So
I was just sitting there thinking about that. What did people do over 100? What did people have cancer in the 1800s? In the
I, I
1700s?
now I don't know, man. I think that it's probably always been around. People just didn't know what it was. You know.
Hey, Tiny.
Not hey,
Hey,
who's that?
Tiny.
Arnold?
Yeah, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, what?
There's Eric. I
Oh
was
man,
just,
I'm doing just great. How about you?
I'm all right. Praise the Lord. Thank you. All right. We're getting ready to start up. Let's go. There's a series airing called Conquering Cancer, and it's running about
Yeah.
8 episodes, and it has 24 hours left, and it goes from episode 1 through 9, and I felt it's well worth the information of just to view it as to about cancer and other concerns. So Google Conquering Cancer
Right.
with
Now where is that at?
Nathan Crane, host of Conquering Cancer. It's a docu-series that's airing for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
We about to go live, y'all.
Conquering cancer.
Yeah, and you can go on and tell a family member, wealth of information.
Right. Now, should I Google that or should I
Yeah,
Google that or what? Okay.
well, I'm
All
gonna
right.
have.
Conquering cancer by.
I'm sending it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can get it on here. So Nathan Crane docu series. A lot of
Okay.
wellness information, specialists in the field of cancer, um, you know, oxygen, water, nutrition, technology. Let's go into it when we go live. Y'all can talk about all that. That's what we're talking about. 5 minutes and waiting to go live. All right, y'all. I know it's a
Okay.
holiday weekend. All right, all right, all right, as they say. I want to welcome everybody to Northwest Austin Council this illustrious Sunday, as we always do from 6 to 8. And we got my man Arnold Bearden here on the second screen. Let's get him in the book so he get his whole. But we're going to continue today's conversation a little bit from what we talked about last week, which was health, and we're going to dibble and dabble in on some of the things that we need to talk about or want to talk about. Which will be which one of the things we'll talk about was we're gonna have somebody on to talk about life insurance also. And what you got to say, Arnold? You got something real quick. Well, again, say hello to the family. Pray all is well with your family or extended family. And let's pray for one another during these times and enjoy the wealth of information that we will be sharing tonight. Absolutely. Absolutely. Positively, as we say. So what else? What else was great going on this week? Arnold, can you think of what was going on? Let me see. No more than my grandson, but had a prom sent off. Yeah, we got a lot of those proms sent off. Let's just talk about those too. Somebody please explain to me why is the prom send off the next thing to graduating from college or a wedding? It's a big, illustrious thing that they do when it comes to proms. I had one yesterday also, and it was, you always get like 100 people, and friends and family and so forth. But the big thing that I don't understand is they don't come to the venue dressed. They want to get dressed at the venue, and then they want to have photographers while they getting dressed. This guy, I'm like, I don't get that. Why do you need a video of the guy getting dressed? And then the girl got to do a makeup, with a makeup artist. And I'm like, man, my daughter showed me a prom send off. They didn't even take the kid to the prom. They just rented a mansion out just to have a prom at a mansion for a kid. Then there was another one. They had 2 Rolls Royce, 3 Rolls Royce. They had a vintage, up to date, and some other road. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, they don't even go to the proms anymore.
Yesterday, I watched a horse-drawn carriage
That too.
on Madison Street.
Yep, seen that one
Of
too.
a prom send-off.
I seen the prom send off where a hearse pulled up and the girl was in the coffin and they pulled the coffin out and let her out and the guy took her by the hand and picked up, let her walk out the coffin.
Come to life.
Hey, yeah, I went to one, and they had like Arnold say, they had a horse and a carriage. They had candy bars
Yeah.
with her picture on it. She was dressed up like I don't know what it was, and it was a white boy who was going with her.
Well, let's
Yeah.
talk about the dress part, because the dress part is a whole other thing. I mean, I get it. Everybody want to be unique and extravagant and what have you, but wow, man, sometimes it's just over the top. You know what I'm saying? Over the top.
Yeah,
And
right.
man,
I found out later on, my grandson, you all listen close, $400 for some gym shoes. Yeah, you heard me right.
Okay.
I had no reflection of me, but I'm just saying,
man, look, that ain't, at least
$400.
he got the gym shoes. Some people rent a bundle of money. They'll pay $600 to rent about 10 grand of money. And sometimes they'll just rent the fake money and floss and show that off. I'm like, man, we all over the place.
Man, you ain't kidding.
But I see it firsthand. I've had about 3, 4, 5 sprouts send off over here at NAC, so I see how they getting that. But the crazy part is they come in and then the adults coming in having more fun than the kids. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, okay, this is for them, I guess, They just spend all their money, so I guess they feel they gotta.
And this is high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you see Diddy daughters? And he got the money and he didn't do none of that.
What do you do? No.
They just had a car and they just went to prom. They didn't do no whole big send off. They had nice, simple dresses. I was like, he got money like that and he didn't do none of that.
Right. And yesterday they had 3 guys with some trike bikes, the whatever slingshots, whatever they call them. They had the big speakers going on outside. These dudes were great. These was gray-haired dudes in these things. And I'm like, man, y'all making all this noise outside. They got a DJ inside. They got food. They got all these banners. They got all these posters. They got all these, throne chairs. They got the red carpet. I mean, I get it. Yeah, do that. But, and then the prom started at like 7, and they won't leave. They want to come in the prom at like 10:30. 30 minutes before the end. They don't care about the prom no more, man. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It's about the pomp and circumstance. It's about showtime. And I kind of get it because
Okay.
that's what
Now, and you guys remember the congressman yesterday was saying that the people over on the west side, most of them don't make but $10,000 a year.
Wow, yeah. Well, that's over the table.
Nah.
That's over the table.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody living on no $10,000.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So we already know what's going on under.
Hey, right.
When a gallon of milk is $10,
Okay. Yeah.
$3.50 or something like that. Oh, I don't know. Gas. Man, I put $100 worth of gas in my truck yesterday. $100. I'm like,
yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I get it. Maybe people look at it from the aspect of this the only time Junebug and little niece gonna ever be able to show up. But they ain't worth too damn dead flies anyway. So shit, they probably ain't gonna make it no further. So we got to shine.
All right, here comes our go.
Put your name on it. Yeah, man. That's what I'm thinking. I'm sitting there thinking that's what it is, man. I mean, I get it. You wanna give your kids some sense of accomplishment, reward them and all that. That's all good. But I just remember when I went to the prom, we had to pay for our own tuxes. We had to pay for our own tickets. We had to pay for our own. I had to rent my own car.
Yeah.
I had to get. She had to go. Yeah. She had to get her own dress made. She had to pay for all that. Shoot, I think I bought her. I might bought. Yeah, I think I bought her. But still, what I mean, we got a nice car. We rented a nice car. I creeped in, picked her up. Everybody in the block seat. We out. We going to the prom, and I wanted to make sure we got there on time because I didn't want to miss nothing. I think it cost us $50 back then, maybe $75.
Well, you know what? Other cultures though have extravaganzas, if you will, for their youth. So Hispanic people have quinceañeras.
Right.
Jewish people have bar mitzvahs.
Yeah.
I mean, different cultures celebrate the coming of age for their child, and we don't have that in our culture. So it's become for them. This is their coming of age. They're leaving high school. They're about to go to college. They're technically about to become adults. So it really becomes symbolic of the transition to adulthood in the way that other cultures have their part. So that's why it's become more extravagant. I think the newer generation has really embraced that ideal. Because we never had that. We don't have that. We have nothing like that.
So where they get an example from? That's my question.
I mean, well, year over year, it's always about popping, though. That's the one thing that Black people know how to do well. We're going to try to overdo somebody else. We're always try to do that. So that's part of it. But again, I do think that's the only thing that we have to transition into adulthood.
I think that the people that are looking at are all these celebrities, like these ball players and stuff like that. Because if you look at the guys, they always look like somebody that played basketball or football. They got their hair like that. They got their suits like the extravagant suit, camouflage suit, with the lapel. You ain't never seen a lapel. Like, man, I had to look. We was at a meeting with Danny yesterday, and it got a little tense up in there because we had a couple of Jewish members come in, and they were talking about how they felt, and Congressman talked about how he felt. And we had about 40 people in the room. And they told everybody to introduce themselves. But it went on and on. I have never heard anybody tell Congressman Davis to be quiet. They asked him to be quiet. They said, Mr. Congressman, no disrespect. We're going to need you to be quiet so we can get around this room and make our introductions. Because we ain't going to sit here and say what's happening over in Gaza and all that with these people. They got a chance when we get to that. And I jumped up to kind of break the ice, which I'm glad I did because it got real tense. And I said, first and foremost, I'm a little afraid to speak after this because y'all just went in on the congressman. I don't know if I should say. I'm just gonna say my name, right? If people start talking about I'm with this organization, I did this, that, blah blah blah. Like, look, I'm Steve Robinson, and that's all I gotta say. But one thing I do want to say: did anybody take a look at Gator Bradley here? Because Gator Bradley making me think I came underdressed. Because my man came in with a pinstripe 1920s, 30s Knickerbocker suit with the buttons on the kneecap, with some Argyle socks and some Gator shoes on, and a leprechaun hat. I said, man, I gotta set my wardrobe up next meeting. I gotta my fashion. I said I'm gonna come with 1974 Maxi coat. I don't know if it's gonna be leather or fur. But we got to step the fashion game up when Gator Bradley stepped in the room because he was on it. And then he got up and did a bow.
But
he got up and did a bow right in front of everybody, and I was really kind of like, Gator, I'm not laughing with you, I'm laughing at you. You just a little bit too much for a Sunday 10 o'clock meeting, man. You know, I mean Saturday meeting. What was it, Saturday meeting? What you gonna say, Tiny? You had something?
But that, yeah, that lady who was talking about this, she didn't want to be disrespectful, and that, but she wanted to go on. She had on a white wig, you know. She stood out too.
Right.
And she was definitely disrespectful.
I know, man. I ain't never heard that one.
So,
but
see, you know her. Her name's Linda. Was that where's she from? Thomason Park.
Oh yeah. I know. But again, everybody came to showboat. I was like, man, I thought we were supposed to be trying to look at Ford campaign and all this, but you know, hey, that's why I had to leave after I said what I said. I felt a little afraid of the situation. You told the congressman to be quiet and on me.
that was too much.
I ain't never heard that one, boy. And then the Jewish individuals, you know, they got up and grandstanded on, you know, this. But one thing my man from Bills said, I forgot the guy that worked for Bills, his name. He said, look, Boone, he said, look, I got to get out of here, but I got to say one thing. How come when black people have an opinion about what's going on in the Middle East, you know, predominantly in Israel and Gaza, they are frowned upon for having an opinion? So he said, I don't think that's cool, and I ain't gonna let it, you know, hold me back. And he said what he said, and he, you know, out. You know, I can have an opinion about one way or another. Why you gotta come? You gonna shut me down because I have an opinion? But again, it was a pretty contentious meeting at the beginning. I got up. So I don't know what happened. Did anything good come out of it, Tiny? Because I left. I was there an hour early. Things didn't start until 2 hours later.
Yeah, it was quite a meeting.
Yeah. I feel you. So what we talking is we're talking about, we're gonna go into a continuation of what we did last show, which was we talked about health, we talked about community health, we talked about health as a city, and we talked about individual health and how people are looking at making themselves and creating healthier environments and healthy processes for their lives. You know, everything comes into play: exercise, food, medicine, care. Because last week I said ain't no care in health. You know,
food number one. Gotta change the way we eat.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah,
everything.
If you don't change the way you eat, you're gonna be eating a lot of pills.
Man, I'm talking about. That's the unspoken truth right there, because it's interesting. I was telling my brother the other day, you know, you grow up with dandelions, you know. Now people drinking dandelions.
Oh, the Polish people, they've been on that for years.
Yeah, but that's a healthy herb though. And things like that makes you think like we've really come a long way from how we used to heal. Like there's plenty of people that tell stories of having folks in their family that were able to heal you with herbs, you know, and we've gotten so far away from that because Big Pharma wants us to be on pills and, you know, take these different medications and things like that, man.
It's so bad that the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, they'll call you and say, hey, we got you on back order. We got something waiting on you. Yeah. It's like, I didn't order no pills.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some now. Just come on down and get these, you know.
Yeah.
Why? I don't need to re-up. Yeah. Why you re-upping me when I ain't asked to be re-up?
Man, we got to, you know. So, because I didn't have a car last year. I couldn't garden, but we're back gardening. So I got me some peas, I got some green beans, I got some carrots, I got some spinach, I got some different herbs, so basil, oregano, and thyme. You know, so it's like that's what we, and cucumbers.
Right.
Cucumbers, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so I planted the cucumbers, man. So one day I was gonna make a homemade mac sauce. So I was making smash burgers, and I go to the neighborhood corner store to go grab the small Jergens cucumbers, the pickles in a jar, because I was gonna chop them up. And I read the ingredient because throughout, you know, I'm down 40 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Since December 1. You know, that's all just eating good and, you know, drinking water and hitting the gym. And label watching. I've been doing a lot of label watching now. You know, I'm just like, man, it is funny because even back when I was teaching the young boys, when I was doing sports science, one of the things that I had them do was actually go and pick. I was like, all right, this y'all assignment. Go to the corner store and get whatever y'all generally eat. I don't care if it's noodles, pop, candy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that I had them bring them back. And then the assignment I gave them, I said, now I want you to go through each of these ingredients. Anything that you cannot properly pronounce or that you don't know right away, I need you to go look up the definition for it. Tell me what it does. And then you'll go in front of the room and you're going to tell everybody what it does. And we're going to have a conversation about what we put in our body. Like, and that was something that, you know, was really enlightening to them, you know, so hopefully it's something that stick with them. But even then, like, I knew it and I still wasn't sticking to it. But now I'm really about it now.
I think they probably didn't even know that a lot of food came from the ground.
I mean, that's a real probability, though.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, when I looked at this label, it had something called polysorbate 80. And I was like, the fuck is that? I've never seen that. So I look it up. Polysorbate 80 is a chemical agent that is found in thinners, like paint thinners and other, matter of fact, I'll just read it. I'll read exactly what it is. Let me see. We ain't gonna even.
Anything that say poly,
Red dye.
tell me it ain't
So, okay, so let me see. So polysorbate 80 is a non-ionic surfactant and emulsifier that is often used in pharmaceuticals, foods, and cosmetics. So this is a biopharmaceutical chemical that is used to thicken up foods and stuff to make. And so I'm sitting here thinking, like, first of all, these pickles are in a jar of, I suppose it's water. Why do we need to thicken the water up? Like, why is this even in the pickles, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a chemical agent that you put in cosmetics and using thinners to clean up stuff, and you're putting it in the pickles for what? You know, so I was just like, man, listen.
preservative.
And then when you look up this stuff, it tell you a side effect. It could be rashes, it could be headache, it could be diarrhea. Like, you look up this and ingest it, and obviously we have probably a small amount of it, which is why the FDA passed it. But over time, though, this is what you're putting in your body over time. These are man-made substances that are breaking down the natural elements in your body and replacing them with them. And then on the back end, the pharmaceutical companies come in and offer you the pills to get back what you done lost. You know what I'm saying? So that's the game.
Make you sick and try to heal you.
That's the game, man. So look, I can't wait till them cucumbers come up. I'm going to get me my little mason jar. I got my vinegar. We throw some dill in there with them. I'm going to put some peppercorns or whatever up in there and fill that boy up. And we going to make our own pickles, man. Because it's like, come on. We got to, like, that's where we got to go to. That's what we got to go to. We got to eat off the land.
And pickles are some of the simplest vegetables. Is there a vegetable? Yeah, it's a vegetable.
Yeah,
That's out there.
People have gotten away from preserve. You know, our parents raised us with lily spotted jars,
Canning.
Canning and preserves, and when you wanted something, you go there and get it, and that's where you ate from.
Man, look, I'm just saying, we're never gonna be healthy as we were, probably healthier than we were 100 years ago. Although we ate slop and hog maw and everything else as slaves, we still
it wasn't chemically touched though.
right. Because I asked the question. What, did people have cancer in the 1800s? Did people have cancer in the 1700s? You know, if there was, what did they do? What did they do about it? You know?
Man, yesterday, so they you know, we started to launch the summer activities. Bill got one going on tonight.
Right.
And yesterday I was at one on the 100, 200 block alone. They was doing something. And I had went and picked up a hamburger. So I'm like, you know, they got the relish, ketchup, mustard, you know, on the table. First thing I do, I look at the label. Yeah, put that down. Look at that. Look at the Sweet Baby Ray's. Yeah, the lady like, everything okay? Yeah, you know what? Everything all right. I just can't eat this. That's all. I ain't gonna be able to do it. That's all.
Right.
That's why they had long shutdown.
Yeah.
I was trying to come through that.
Okay. Yeah. But
Man, it's the thing. So we also gonna have we got Tracy on today from Washington. She's gonna talk a little bit about life insurance.
Okay.
Kind of goes hand in hand, but let's still talk about health because we're waiting for some more people to come on the Zoom. We got some on the other channels, but we just want to make sure we get a good group of people to have this conversation via Zoom.
Well, again, we're gonna set up that men's health club as well as females. We set up a women's health club.
And what does that mean?
Well, we can do that, you know.
No, I'm saying, what does that mean when you say health club?
Well,
Health and eating, health and physical,
yeah,
health and
nutrition, exercises. A lot of people, when they think about detoxing,
okay.
there's a right way to detox and a wrong way to detox.
Well, one of the things I brought up last show when we were talking about health is that when we have these block parties and things like that, how come we don't ever just have a health facility out there? You know, talking about screening for this and screening for that. Or just
Some of them do.
Okay.
I've seen.
That's good.
You know who does? Actually, ACT does it over there at the Veterans Garden, or in partnership, I should say, with Santa. That'd be Santa and ASCO.
Okay.
Yeah, they do one every year.
Cool.
They do one every year.
Somebody's
Somebody's
doing something.
Like my block, when we do our block celebration of the health festival, which will have some sponsorship. We're working out the details now.
Right.
Last Saturday in August.
That's great because everybody on the block
outside.
That's healthy, you know. So you know, hey, maybe bringing it to them, you know, meeting them where they're at, kind of helps.
I was explaining a couple weeks ago in Madison, Laramie, Expressway, and Central, 7,000 population, and the data health-wise is just low out of it.
Well, they said 90-something% of people have diabetes traits.
90.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's actually 61%.
61?
61%, which is still quite a majority.
But they did say 90-something, didn't they? Because I said, wow, everybody in the 40, that's a 40 block too.
Well,
Laramie too. What was it again?
Laramie on the east.
Oh, you're saying just in a particular community area of Austin, they said at least 90% of people have diabetic traits.
61% are
diabetic?
Yeah.
Damn.
And then we broke it down by ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
White, black, young, you know, old, and everything. It was just, that's how we got to.
Okay.
Do you see all the snacks that they serve in these corner stores? That's probably why.
All that shit, yeah.
Well, the only, you might say, grocery chain would be Leamington that
Yeah.
falls in that zip.
But you know what, look, I ain't gonna lie.
But it's a food desert beyond those areas.
But you know what? Now, I know if you knew better, you'd do better. But I had a female long time ago try to get me right. She said, DeAndre, I hear you. I know. You still control what you put in your mouth, though. I mean, you can't argue with somebody in the back like that. You feel me? It's there. But at the end of the day, you control what goes in your mouth because your hands are working.
But what about the resources to get to the other things?
I mean, so I had this same conversation with a friend of mine, right? Boom. She rearing her kids, and she got 3 sons, and they like nuggets and other fast food type of, and these are young, growing boys. So I tell her like, and I know we like our food fast. It's difficult. It's very difficult, and she's a single mom, so. Even more difficult to have prepared at home cooked meals. But I was just telling her, like, if you go get a whole chicken, which could probably be about $10, that's 2 breasts, 2 thighs, 2 legs, 2 wings. You go get you a bag of potatoes that's gonna run you about $5. I don't know how you could choose to do the potatoes up however you gonna do it. You could mash them, you could fry them, you could this, that, but that in itself could last you for a little bit of time. And then you go and throw you, green beans. Green beans are very cheap, very cheap. You go get you some green beans, you hook it up, how you gonna hook it up, you saute it, you throw some garlic, throw some butter, however you wanna do it. But that in itself is a meal that could go one day or a couple days, depending on how you stretch it. But I can tell you the green beans and the potatoes will last longer for other meals though. So the thing is, and then all of that together, the 4 of them eating together would be about $20. If you go and try to go get anything out of any restaurant right now for 4 people, you're paying $40 to $50 right now. So the thing is, what's the trade-off? You know what I mean? So we always go back to this argument of not having a resource. I would argue it's the knowledge that we lack, but it's also our own will. We have to take control of all of our circumstances in our lives if we wish to improve. That's it. That's just the way it's gonna be. You got to do that.
But it comes also with knowledge. You have to give people the knowledge to control their circumstances.
Right.
Many of them don't have the knowledge, so it's like what I see is what I do.
Right. That's why I said I agree. That's why I said first. That's why knowledge first and foremost. But when we go, let's go back there. We're gonna have a health fair, and we can invite 1,000 people. But if only 50 show up, then again, thereby the control is in your hands. I know. We're gonna have 50-11 excuses. I didn't have a babysitter. I worked late that night. It was raining. My car got bad. We're gonna have 50-11 excuses. The question will be, for those that wanted to go but couldn't make it, how many gonna follow up and get the information? Right. We're not lacking. We're not lacking. I mean, I'm just saying we got to get to a space where we making sure that people are doing what they like. I just want people to understand that there's a difference between choice and decision. When you make a choice, that is ownership. You're saying, this is what I want for myself. When you make a decision, that means you have options that you select. There's a difference in that there's more power in choice. I would rather somebody tell me I didn't come because I didn't want to versus having 50-11 excuses that really boils down to the fact that you just didn't want to come. You didn't want to follow up and get the information. And that's okay, but just own it so that we can understand that your circumstance isn't limited by all of these other existential things. It's by you.
We want people to give us something. We want people to do it for us, and we want it done. That's just how it is. So if you ain't doing none of that, you ain't gonna get them in the mode of doing it for themselves.
Yeah, but no, you'll never get anybody to do anything for themselves if you do it for them. That will never happen, ever.
Well,
ever.
You gotta give them the example.
I mean, shit, I'm an example. I'm gonna lose 80 pounds by December 1. I started my weight loss journey December 1. I'm down 40 pounds. I'm gonna lose another 40 pounds in the next 6 months by December 1.
Let me ask you this question, because I've known you 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
What really promoted you to do that?
You know what?
You could have done it 7, 8 years ago, and you were trying.
Nah, I mean, well, you know, there are lapses. 7 years ago, what was it? When did I run for office? 2019. 2019, I actually lost a lot of weight too because I was running for office. I was down to 215 then. Then I ballooned back up during that time, having a baby, going through the doctoral process.
Listen to him, he had a baby.
Oh, yeah. Hey man, fathers gain weight too. We get daddy weight too. Yeah, we get daddy weight too.
Now you just heard him talking about excuses, didn't you?
Man, we get daddy weight too. Yes, Lord. But I would say the biggest. You know what? Part of it is I've gotten into a space where I'm as a leader, as a person who considers themselves a leader in their community, who wants to be able to promote health. I'm like, bro, I got to do it. I can't be out here saying we got to be healthy if I'm not healthy myself. That's true. So that's one of the major reasons why I decided that I have to get healthy. These things, I want to be able to, the same reason that if I can't do it this year, because it may not happen, I'm going to do it next year, go get an electrician certification. I just became a doctor, and I'm going to become an electrician, because when I'm in those rooms talking to young people, and I'm like, bro, you ain't got to go to college. You can go get a trade. I want to be able to come from a position of doing it and not just sitting there saying it, regurgitating something. And if our people gonna listen to anybody, I would rather them listen to somebody that's gonna actually be about the action that they talking about undertaking. So that's really the catalyst. But beyond that, going to the personal, man, I'm only 36 and my fucking knees hurt, back hurt. You know what I mean? Like all that weight, man. You rolling out the bed every day, breathing at it. Come on, man. I can't. Man. And I'm a handsome guy, man. I want to be handsome. I want to throw suits on. I want to this year. I want to
like Gator Bradley.
Man, look, I want to throw on me some hoochie daddy shorts, man. I want to give me some cat calls, wear my tank top this year. Yeah, man. Come on. I want to look good too.
No, but help. So you know, we always talk about healing the community and better communities, but man, it's got to start internally. And the reason I asked you what really promoted you more, because most often people don't do it until they reach a critical mass. Yeah, meaning that they're about to die, they can't deal with the pain, or they can't deal with the illness that's causing them to do something, you know, that they typically wouldn't do. Right. And that's when they go, well, I got to do something different now.
I'll say this. So again, it's the leadership thing. Even when I was teaching this past fall, I kept telling my students. So I had them, I was teaching organizational leadership, right? So again, it's all about leadership. This is about walking the talk. You know what I'm saying? I told my students, I said, look, here goes some SMART goals. I need each one of y'all to outline what y'all SMART goals gonna be to transform your situation. So I had them do that. So I kept bringing up in class how much I was unhappy with my own weight. Mm-hmm. And I kept beating at it to them like, man, I was like, man, look, I promise y'all, by the time I'm going to come back and be teaching, I thought I was going to be teaching this year, but it's fine because it allowed me to get through the doctorate. But I'll be there in the fall. And I told them, I'm coming down 60 pounds lighter the next time y'all see me walk through these halls. And then I had already, because again, for the SMART goal, I said, this is how we're going to get it done. We're going to eat this much. We're going to go to the gym this much. We're going to drink this much water. We're going to do this,
change the habit.
And you know what I mean? And so, you know, as a leader, I'm out here doing what I said that I was going to do to better myself, but also for my family and then for my community too. And that's what's important.
Dr. Hapi, I see you on. You have something to add?
Greetings. Yes, I am on. I commend the brother for trying to be healthier. We have a program that deals with getting healthier that we've been teaching for over 55 years. And so our particular program, it addresses the young people, it addresses the older people, and it addresses the athletes. With this program, we worked with the NFL players. Some of you all would know the names that I mentioned who played with the Bears. We've addressed some ministers that if I mention the names, you all would know because they're national ministers who stepped into our programs in their 60s and now they're in their 90s. And they were more stronger and healthier than even the best athletes in their 60s. And so,
no, my question. Go ahead, continue. Then,
so my program is that we work with a 3-tier element. The first tier is we have to look at what you're eating, because if you don't understand the understanding, these are 2 words. One word is called acidic and the other word is called alkaline. That's the first thing we look at. Are you eating more acidic foods? The second thing we look at is we look at metabolism. How strong is your breathing to help you burn what you're eating? Be you working out or not? Be you working out or not? Let me give you an example. A patient of mine was 72 when she came to me. She was on a cane and had back pain and could hardly walk upstairs. She was over 60 pounds overweight, and all we did was put her on the table and take her through a special breathing program. She lost 60 pounds within the year, changed her diet just a little bit, and can outbreathe LeBron James right now. She can outbreathe Stephen Curry. She runs 14,000 breaths in an hour and a half. So here's a person who's 72 years old, who was a general, normal, average senior, who now can breathe better than Stephen Curry and LeBron James. So she didn't have to do a bunch of running. She didn't have to run one step, because the key to getting healthier is in the breathing. But we have not been taught about the breathing. So because we haven't been taught about the breathing, we take what we call the secondary approach. The secondary approach is we got to get out there and run. We got to lift weights and all of that. But in our program, this breathing strengthens you like you are lifting weights and running at the same time. It has the ability to work with those who have the weakest breath. Now, I was on the radio program with Steve and with Arnold about maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. And I spoke of one of my patients who could not even walk. He was paralyzed. He had a stroke. He had been paralyzed for 2 years and couldn't even lift his head up. So what do we do with that? Particularly when the doctor says he's not going to get any better from physical therapy. He did the physical therapy at Shirley Ryan. He's not going to get any better. Put him in the nursing home. They called me in on the case, and all he had was the breath. He couldn't even lift his head off the bed. We took him through breathing, and if I was to show, in fact, well, I could show you his video from my phone, but you know, you probably can't see my phone on your computer. But he's not in front of the computer, is he, Steve? He's not in front of the computer, so he wouldn't be able to see this patient of mine who now walks.
We'll take information from you and we'll show it. But
okay.
Somebody asked a question. They said, respectively, who is we? So you must have said we a few times.
Me and my students. See, I as I stated, I started teaching 55 years ago. I had a condition called sarcoidosis. I don't know if the brother knows about Bernie Mac, who died from sarcoidosis at 50 years old. Well, they diagnosed me with that problem at 20 and I couldn't breathe. And so I had to get real serious about my health because I couldn't breathe, I couldn't run, I couldn't do any of what you're talking about. And so I learned about how the food affects us, how it takes away our breathing, how it sets up inflammation in the body, how it starts breaking down our organs, how it gives us heart attacks, how it puts us on dialysis, and how it takes the strength out of our legs and takes the strength out of our limbs. And so I went into a full education myself, but along the way, I went through schools. I went through naturopathic school, chiropractic school. I went through the international school of physiology, and I went through the school of traditional Chinese medicine. So I learned the secrets of what it takes to restore the body. I did a program out at the Kroc Center on the 119th and Racine. And if you know of the Kroc Center, you know this is a very beautiful community center that is more, I would call it a high grade. It's a high grade YMCA on steroids. They got everything you could ever want to have. And when you go up in the building, it's so plush, you think you got invited to a country club or something. But anyway, they commissioned me to come to this building and to work with the seniors who were in the worst shape. These seniors were they were in wheelchairs, on walkers, and on canes. And in our program, we started to restore them. But you have to be able to breathe. That's the key. If your breathing is weak, it's harder to bring you around. And so
one of the things I heard just recently is that sitting is not good.
You heard what?
Sitting. If you're sitting a lot, that's just not good. You should be moving.
What's not good?
Sitting.
Well, here's what sitting does. But let's take it a step deeper. Too much sitting is not good, but walking on concrete, too much concrete is not good either. It pulls the energy out of your legs. So some people be running. They be running on asphalt, running on concrete. You need to run on grass. Or you need to run on a rubberized surface. And if you're sitting will pull the energy out of your legs. It will make your legs heavy. It will make them start getting heavy. So you have to do more standing than sitting. You have to do more moving. And just like a patient of mine, she had a stroke. So when she had the stroke, her brain, she lost the function of her brain. She couldn't think. She worked for a law office, and she started getting migraine headaches being in front of a computer. She couldn't even go to work. She was getting migraine headaches. So we put her into this program with this breathing that I'm talking about. And so she was able to get her health all the way back, get her memory all the way back. And now when she goes to the law office, I had them to put her in front of a special table where she can actually lift the table up with the computer so she could stand at times and not be sitting all the times. So
let's get into some questions. We got some questions. Mary, you got a question for Dr. Happy or anyone?
No, I don't have a question. Well, I do have a question, but not for the good doctor. I'm just trying to understand. I think when I came on that DeAndre was talking about the health of our community as a people. And I'm thinking, I think that's aside from his personal journey. And I commend you for that. But I mean, I too am on a personal journey. I didn't just get on it. I've been on it in and out. But if I may kind of suggest that we as people of color, there are two ways that folks see being active or healthy. One is that we do see the athletes and we see, we think being healthy means being skinny, and that's not the case. Being healthy means being healthy because even a skinny person, good-looking person can be sick inside, in terms of not being healthy. So I'm just thinking that as a community, how can I say this? We lack leadership that kind of encourages us to be proactive and, maintain some healthiness. Now, having a health fair and having the breast mobile is going to be out and this mobile is going to be over there, the dental mobile, and let's do this mobile clinic for kids going back to school so we can get them that checkup that they need. That's all good, but that kind of brings a little bit of pressure. Whereas, for some of us, we do, those are regular checkups that should be happening anyway, right? As a way of a rite of passage and stuff. And then you kind of stay on top of your game. So I guess my question would be, how do we, I think we lack the leadership in terms of maintaining a healthier lifestyle as Black folks. Now it's getting better because I can name some folks that I'm engaged with that are, 40 plus, and I'm loving the interaction and stuff because they are doing things and bringing young folks along. We do a bunch of stuff out of Garfield Park, but what can we do right now as elders in this community in terms of being a part of the proactive, the healthier kind of thing that you referred to, DeAndre? What would you suggest?
Well, you're right. Number one, let me go there. You're right, and I think we are so devoid of people that are in the position of to really be proactive about the health thing, because I think I don't hear enough about like eating off your own land. You know what I mean? We have plenty of garden spaces in the community. I think everybody should take that up just to see how it feels to grow something. Like that is an accomplishment in and of itself, because that can be difficult, but you will grow something if you plant something, and that can begin the journey to healthy eating. So I think encouraging people to be out in the sun, number one, because as melanated people, we derive some of our energy from the sun. We take that in to help us with vitamin D, I think.
Vitamin D and melatonin.
Right. So number one, we need to be out in the sunshine. I don't know what somebody in the lab told us we don't need to be in the sun. Like that's not our skin. Our skin was made to take in the sun. So we got to be out in the sun. We also have to encourage, again, that garden so that we can get people to eat off the land. We have to get people to drink water. Water is one of the best ways to help with healthier living, period. And I understand the pops and the juices and the other substances, but we have to get to that space where, like Dr. IP, he preaches the alkaline water. So we have to, because the alkalinity in the body is what helps rid it of the inflammation and the mucus and the other toxins that poison us. So we have to be able to get into that space too, where we're talking about this basics, right? So before we can get to anything else full blown, because I got some other ideas, I would love to be able to transfer food from the garden to some kitchen where we can actually have people prepare healthy dishes in front of the community so they can actually see how to cook.
Smell good too.
So they can see how to cook, right? But that's another thing. So the first things that I would start with, water. Let's get some alkaline heavy water. Let's go garden, and let's just get into the sun. Those three things right there mean that you are more active. Period. Like just the act of gardening can come. You can have your shoulders and everything hurt. Right. So that's where I would start. Just because that in itself, you start to build good habits there. That may translate into other spaces, and then we can get into other things.
You don't got to worry about no high impact on your legs, your knees.
That's all I'm saying. And you connect with the earth. You connect with dirt again. Like you are out in the sun. You're right. Like. And then when you start to grow something, you feel accomplished. That is a sense of accomplishment that you get from growing.
You cook it and it smells good.
All I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Hey, we got another question from Mosaic. You got a question?
So I'm hearing a lot of pseudoscience. A lot of Black people do a lot of pseudoscience when they come to health. Let me tell y'all something. Listen when I tell you this. You need to go read Message to the Black Man by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay, first of all, that whole breathing thing, let me tell you something. You need to go out and run and do cardio. Ain't no breathing extra. I don't give a damn how fast or how you can breathe as fast as you want. Hey, brother, I got to land your plane. I'm talking right now, brother.
Go ahead.
No disrespect. No disrespect, but I land your plane right quick, brother. So
Go ahead.
you can breathe as much as you want to. Ain't nothing gonna get your cardiovascular pumping like a good run. Or break a sweat like a good run. You have to run. You have to sweat. You have to get the toxics out. Number two, we don't lack leadership. You know this ain't back in the day, right? We don't need Martin Luther King. We don't need another Malcolm X. We don't need that. If you don't know, stop eating collard greens, pinto beans, and chitterlings. It's how you eat. You got to stop eating bullshit. Stop going to eat. Stop frying chicken all the time. You feel me? Stop using seasoning salt. And wait, hold on, Steve.
No. Did
Stop
you say don't eat collard greens, or did you say don't eat them?
Steve, if you think you're gonna put all that seasoning salt on them collard greens, mustard greens, and them pinto beans, that's not healthy, Steve.
Well, you said seasoning salt. I don't eat mine with all of that.
Yeah. No. Supplement the collard greens. Just boil you some broccoli. Get you some spinach. Get you some tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? Go to the store. Yeah, get you some kale. You can't sit here and cook hog maw and turkey tails with the greens and act like you're eating healthy. No, that's not considered eating healthy. You cannot lose weight. You cannot lose weight without a healthy. You have to eat. That's the only way you lose weight. You can work out all you want. You can run all you want. You can breathe yourself like Stephen Curry all day. You have to maintain what you eat. That's the key. And put that alcohol down. Stop drinking that dark liquor. Y'all sitting up there drinking that dark liquor. I know y'all drink dark liquor.
What's that? How is that working out for you?
Oh, Steve, I'm 38. I'll be 38 May 31st, Steve. I can do a backflip. I can jump over a gate. I can move everything in your house by myself. And everybody think I'm 21. Everybody think I'm 21. They be like, man, you 38? Oh, well, I'm really 37. Let me not push the day. May 31st, my birthday. But, I look very young. Very young. And I still can move and shake. Somebody run up on me, they're going to get a two-piece real quick.
Dr. Hafiz.
Yes, sir. I want to answer his question. I want to relate back to him on his statement when he's finished.
Oh, I land my helicopter.
All right. So this art of breathing, once we understand it deeper, it has patterns. It has rhythms of breathing patterns. And just like when you run, there's a breathing pattern when you run. This particular system that I created, it can have the whole body sweating on the table in 15 minutes. So what we're talking about is cardio. This is what you stated. But what I'm telling you, and that's why if you got on my table, you would be surprised and embarrassed. Because if you think you're in the best shape, you get on my table and I'll show you a higher level of breathing you have never even experienced. And then I will show you what it does to your body. So let's put beside conversation, let's put that to the side as you come see me. And I will put you on the table for a demonstration. There is one of my patients. Her nephew, he's a runner. So she was coming to me doing the breathing. And so he said, Auntie, you don't need to go to Dr. Happy for the breathing. You need to just get with me and run and I'll get you better and everything. Plus I'll teach you how to lift some weights and everything. And so when she told me that, young brother, because I'm 75, when she told me that, I said, well, have a party over your house, invite all your friends, all your family members, and I'm going to bring my 88-year-old with me. I took my 88-year-old over there, and my 88-year-old was breathing better than LeBron James. And so what happened, this brother was 40. You say you 37. He was 40, and he apologized. And then later he got with my patient, because I trained her in this system. And in 1 month, he could lift 100 extra pounds in 1 month, as well as run faster. So if you're not trained in physiology, brother, then your conversation about just running for cardio, it has its value. But if you haven't been around the block, or in this case, if you haven't been exposed to other levels of cardio stimulation, then you wouldn't have a point of reference. I'm gonna give you this last example. One of my patients was running 10 miles a day. 10 miles a day. I think you think that's pretty good. But in those 10 miles a day, he went to see his cardiologist, and his cardiologist said, there's some issues with your heart, and we're going to have you come in and possibly have a surgical procedure for it. Now, he was running 10 miles a day, brother. He comes to see me, and I put him in my special breathing program for a month and a half. He goes back to the cardiologist, and now he didn't have to get the procedure, because the breathing that I teach, this breathing is a breathing that is primarily based on the concept of baby. If you know anything about a baby, you know a baby don't come in the world walking. You know the baby don't have any power. The baby can't run a step. But that baby does something every day, and that's crying. And under that crying, there's our breathing patterns. There's 2 breathing patterns. And it is those patterns that is strengthening that baby. First, it strengthens the internal organs. Then, over time, it strengthens the heart. Now, when it gets to the point where it's starting to strengthen the heart, the baby has enough power to flip over. While it's strengthening the internal organs, it's building the baby's digestive system, so the baby system can get stronger to start handling eating food. And we start the baby with pureed food of vegetables and fruits. And so then sometime later, the baby starts getting enough power to crawl. Well, where's this power coming from, brother? This baby is not running. It's not lifting weights. So then the baby eventually gets enough power to stand up one day, and there's power in the limbs. The baby pulls itself up on his mother's legs, his father's legs, the table leg. Well, where did that power come from, brother? It came from in that crying, but under that crying was breathing. So as a doctor, I have been trained very, very intensely in understanding the breathing and understanding the physiology behind it. That's why I can work with athletes who are in the best shape and take them into greater shape. That's why I can work with elders who are on canes and who can't even walk, and then bring the power up where now they're walking and line dancing and wanting to cha-cha-cha. They want to move. So I challenge you, brother, to come see me so I can school you up. So you can.
I want to see it too. Hey, we got a question. Mary, you had something you had a question.
So Steve, you bring the brother to me. You and Arnold bring the brother to me, and I will teach this brother. I'll teach this young brother another level of physiology.
Wait, I just want to say one thing.
Yes, sir.
I was having a conversation with the young student warrior out of the School of Psychology, DeAndre Rudis, and he taught me that things should be peer-reviewed. So if you can show me peer-reviewed research that your peers in this field agree with your study, my brother, I'll be willing and happy. But if it's not being peer-reviewed, I can't waste my time. I'll land my head out.
Well,
do a second-hand person. You can't speak on a doctor's degree person until you get a doctor's degree.
Oh yeah. My brother got a degree. I got a degree. That's my degree too. Yes, it is.
So when we talk like that, brother, when we talk like that, we just talking out the side of our mouth. Degrees.
But you can't.
let me
Are
share
you
this.
peer reviewed?
Can I talk
Are
now?
you
Can I
peer
talk
reviewed?
now? Can I
Yes.
talk now? Can I talk now? Let me share this with you, brother. Before you can even get a degree as a doctor, you have to go through sciences. You have to really learn about the body. But let me tell you, let me take you a step further. Because see, I think you're ready to be schooled. I think you're ready. Because see, you get on this call and you come with some pretty good conversation. But let me share with you this. Being a doctor for 55 years, I worked with the youngest and the oldest. I worked with the best and the worst. And what I want to tell you, it's all in the proof. See, you talk peer review. I talk in the present right now. Let me show you. So there's a state called Missouri, and they say, let me show you. So if you game enough to come, you will see it. I'll break it down to you, because again, I am the elite brother in the whole country that does this. That's why they fly me out. The players fly me to wherever they're at and cover all my expenses, because they have trainers on their teams, brother. They got trainers on their teams. Why would they be paying me to come if they got trainers already on their team and the trainer's supposed to be the best? They got the best doctors. They got the best exercise physiologists. They have all of that. But I come with a whole nother hat. And like I said, if you're not ready to be schooled, then you can only talk to a certain degree, because you're only talking from where you're at. I'm talking from experience of having worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of patients and athletes, high school athletes, college athletes. And check this, I'm gonna finish with this last word. So one of my patients was the president of Chicago State. You heard of that college, Chicago State University? She was the president over there. And she was a runner. But she injured her knee. So we fixed her knee, and I taught her this special breathing, brother. And guess what? At 54 years old, she won the Chicago Marathon. At 54 years old. So what I'm telling you, my program is not just to help the athlete, it's to help the one who can't walk, the one who can't run. And so what I'm telling you, the goal here is to get schooled up. That's the goal. We're talking about education. We're talking about demonstration.
Well said, Dr. Hafiz. You have to understand who you're talking to. Mosaic he comes from the school of hard knocks on Madison and Central. So, he can't see no further than the other side of the street. So we're gonna roll with
go down there and put the table on the street. We'll go down there and put the table on the street. Let him get on the table on the street.
Okay, we're gonna
you got a challenge, bro.
family respect, and DeAndre gonna bring you in with Steve and I, and
yeah, we're gonna
Dr. Hafiz, and I'll join you as well. Okay.
We're gonna see
Mary,
Mary, you had a question real quick.
I did. And the conversation sounded really interesting and wow, a little bit intimidating. I want to bring it back home, bring it back to Austin, Lawndale, Garfield Park. I want to know, what are you bringing? What are you doing in the community? Because I wouldn't even be able to afford to see you in your professional lane, but certainly if you were bringing all of those skills to the community, yeah, that's
okay. All right, that's a good question. So let me share this with you.
Okay, but before you do that, with all due respect, I'm asking from a not a challenging perspective, but a perspective of our community. You can go out your door right now, look out your window, and you'll see someone that would be a benefit from the services that your expertise and all of that good stuff. Even myself, who I consider to be extremely active and have lived a little bit. And a lot of folks would be surprised at how long I've been walking this earth. So tell me where you where you shared all of this good stuff. What community have you been in, if you will?
Well, Mary and Dr. Hafiz, let me just interrupt one moment in addressing that in a sense of Mary Act. Well, Dr. Hafi is working along with our organization as far as information concerning the health, and we've got a program that has sponsorship of garden boxes of approximately 20, which is grow your own produce and all vegetables to address that. And so far, there's 20 families we're looking for in this study. And then Dr. Hafiz is gonna fill in the part of what you addressed, what is he done, and you heard about them. And it's
Okay, you're talking about Santa organization?
This is something we come together on with this whole health issue.
Oh, this is something new then, right? Y'all.
And give you the boundaries.
Well, no, look, wait, Arnold, before you give me the name. What's the name of it? You said the organization. That's what I'm trying to see. What's the organization?
Well, again, it's not an organization name. It's just some individuals who've come together and bringing other individuals together that we've all had these discussions. And we wanted individuals who are good and knowledgeable in the areas that, in a collaborative sense, that's going to address a lot of concerns on health and all that.
Well-being.
So let me just give you the boundaries and the statistics.
No, you know what? I don't need the boundaries. I'm good with that. I'm just more interested in whether or not, I don't know if the good doctor is still on, what he's done in the community. He mentioned number 23, one of my favorite players, a number of times, and so on and so forth. I'm just trying to see where those skills and expertise have been planted in the land here on the west side of Chicago. That's all. I don't need boundaries right now. Y'all can catch me up on that a little bit later. I was just curious about it. That's all.
Dropped off. Oh, he dropped?
Yeah.
Get him back. We'll get him
Well, I guess you can give me the boundaries then maybe he got, yeah.
North, Laramie on the east, the Expressway on the south, and Central on the west. Now, that's 6,000 in population. Black, white, young, old, whatever income, education, just like 2 zip codes, the zone improvement plan, in other words, zip codes. But out of that, diabetes, heart attack, arthritis, you name other issues, the data was just off the chart. Over 60 to some instances 91% of the individuals living in this area or these areas had those conditions. And so, like I said, we are what we eat. And then not only that, is to invite and collaborate with Dr. Hafi and what he has done and who he has talked to and what he knows and what he can bring to the table. Because when many of us come together, it's educating each and every one of us in their piece of the puzzle to form the whole health picture. So that's when I didn't say we had an organization. It's simply where there are individuals who are good at gardening, and we have some corporate sponsorship to fund us to have this program. And all we asked was individuals, which we're now about 20 families who have new vegetable garden boxes, approximately about $1,100 in value, which would be of no expense to them. And all we ask them to do is grow vegetables of their choice or fruit, and then be part of this study that would help us understand a lot of information as a result of this program of growing your own vegetables and sharing with the community. And then with Dr. Hafi and what he knows, Humana Healthcare is the corporate sponsor. and others. We've got doctors who are actually medical doctors and their credentials and all that. And we're going to have a whole rollout so people can be educated and more learners as to about health as well, and being well.
So how would the families identify? I'm just going to give you a couple of questions. How would the families identify? Why aren't we using institutions that are here that say they take care of our community, aka Loretta Hospital? We got Rush, we got PCC over here. We got all kind of medical facilities, and I mean, we all of that exists. Study after study after study exists. We found out the pandemic showed us just what the disparities, and we knew before then. We actually knew back when we had that heat wave. Was it mid-90s? I think when we had that heat wave, and when was it?
1995.
Yeah, that's when we found out. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. All of that is fantastic. That's great. I just don't know the good doctor. And I'm not suggesting that he ain't all that he said he is. I just want to know and I don't know the name of his facility or what have you, but it's just tell me what community has the work been done in, because I've been out here for a minute and I've been around and I've been engaged, and that's all. I mean, this is
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I'm back.
So
right.
All I'm suggesting, Arnold, is and I'm not saying we, I'm saying those wheels are out there in the community. We know as far as our the state of our health is dismal, as of color. So
yes, I want to answer your question.
Oh, okay. Let me be quiet.
So the majority of my work has been on the north side and the south side. I've worked on the north side with the elders in the Cabrini area from 1972. I've worked on the south side with young people and older people in the Bronzeville area and in the Morgan Park area. And they have been from young people, old people. I've worked with track coaches and basketball coaches on the west side. I've worked with some coaches who would send me students from Westinghouse. On the south side, students from King, this coach named Coach Cox. So I've worked with some top coaches who have taken students to championships with the state, right? State championships, basketball and football and all that. But in the community, my focus was to train people so that those people could be teaching the community. So what we did, and this was in 1972, I started teaching young people yoga. And in yoga, if you know anything about it, it's an 8-step program. And one of the steps is to change your diet, to get a plant-based diet. So my diet is a vegan diet. I've been a vegan for 55 years. So what the brother was talking about as far as eating, he was right on. He's right on. All the food we're eating a sad diet. So we have sad health because we're eating a sad diet. So the community have to be open to learning how to eat what we call umami. Umami is a term that you eat the most delicious food made from the garden. So it's kind of like when they talk about an oasis, right? They talk about the Garden of Eden. So we're sitting with that same potential. We just got away from the garden. So most of our eating, we might eat greens, but the greens might be conventional, which means they got a lot of fertilizer chemicals on it, and some of these chemicals, one is called glyphosate. It helps to destroy your digestive system. So that's why a lot of people are getting cancer. That's why they're doing more cancer tests now. They send you to get a scope of your colon, or they the package out so you can send in a specimen of your colon, because more people are getting it because they're growing conventional food with chemicals that are pesticides, and that helps to cause cancer and destroy your digestive system. And so I've been teaching. So now where we are is I have students all over Chicago. You can go to their classes. I have students on the south side and there's students on the west side. Right over here on right over here on North Avenue. There's a school over here. One of my students, they had a block club over on Longwood. And some of my students were over there and they were passing out the flyers and everything. And they teach classes. Now, this is where we have to engage our politicians. If we have institutions, what I've created is institutions, sister, and we have 8,000 teachers. 8,000 teachers throughout the country, not just here, but more of the activity is on the south side. So we have a couple of students on the west side. I am ready to come into the churches because they are so misinformed in there. The people are so sick. The older people are on so many medications. I'm ready to come into the churches and educate. Now, once I educate, then we got to go to work. You have to learn how this breathing has the power to bring your health back, to restore you. And you don't have to run. But if you want to run, and young people, I tell them to run, it's good for them. But most old people are not going to be running. But most old people still need to get healthier. I'm not going to see some 80-year-olds and 70, not too many 80 and 70-year-olds you're going to see out there running. But if I can get the strength of their breath up where they can outbreathe the best runner you bring me, and I mean the best, don't bring me the worst, bring me somebody who muscle bound, got 8-pack, not a 6-pack, 8-pack, and run 20 miles a day.
So
bring them to me.
Doctor, is it Hoppy?
It's like, I'm gonna bring it to you like this. If you could have the best health in the world, would you be happy or would you be happy?
Dr. Happy. I'm going to
Happy.
This is one of those unusual times I'm gonna agree with Mosaic Monk. What's yeah, I already agree with them in terms of I kind of need some validators, and I'm again respectfully validators. And you mentioned some West Side teachers. Can you are you comfortable with naming them or just naming some of your students? Because
I can. There's a brother. He's teaching yoga named Moshe. His name is Mashad. He's teaching over North Avenue.
Marshawn?
Yes, that's right. He came up under our system through one of my senior students. Certified him, and he teaches yoga right here on the West Side. But the yoga that we teach is culturally minded. This yoga comes from the yoga that our ancestors did 5,000 years ago.
So is it safe to say, Dr. Happy, that, again, I was just looking for some communities on the West Side that you all have went in and you got some stuff going, programs going. And
it's in Austin.
It's in Austin?
This program is in Austin, yes.
Okay, I'm an Austinite. Where at in Austin?
It's on North Avenue.
Oh, over there. What's the name of the facility or whatever? I'm trying to make a connection to something. You know, that's all. And that would be the only sticking point here with me, is that all of that information is, I'm sure it's, as you said, you got some healthy 70 plus, 80 plus folks that have benefited. I know what I see in my community every day, and that makes me mad. That concerns me. And I mean, if you're in this space right now, I consider you to be a neighbor, and my community is struggling. So we need to start working like yesterday on getting us healthy with
the day before that.
Yes.
The day before that, the week, yes. The month, the year, 20 years before that. So here's where we're at. In order to save a community, you must have institutions. You must have more than one place. You must have people trained to teach the people at all levels. That's where my work has been. to teach. And let me take it a step further. I want to take this all the way with you. We don't just need to learn about the exercise for the physical. We need to know the exercise for the mental, so that we are in a mental crisis right now. We're in a mental health crisis. They're talking about creating a lot more mental health centers. Well, when the water has poured out of the bottle, is it too late? It's too late when the water is out the bottle. What I mean by that metaphor is we have to start these institutions in all areas of our community. One of those areas are the schools. We need to bring this knowledge into the schools, and it's not just for physical health. It's for mental health and also for behavior control. Our children are out of order because they don't have any control over their emotions. They get into fights, they kill each other. Violence is all over in our streets. So we have to address that. Well, how do you address that? There are breathing patterns. And when you step into these breathing patterns, you get total control over yourself. So you bring me the baddest gangbanger, and the first thing I tell him, can you control your anger? That's the first thing. Do you know how to control your anger? And if he don't know how to control it, that's the first class you need. I need to teach you that class. I need to teach you how cool and how wonderful it is that if anybody in your space, and even your woman, say something to you and you normally would slap her upside the head, now you would chuckle. You say, you almost got me angry. So imagine when we're talking about health, we're talking about all the areas, not just physical health. And so that's where I'm wired. I've worked in the mental health agencies. I worked at Bobby Wright, which is a mental health agency well known in our community before they start shutting down our mental health institutions. So I've worked in the mental health field. I've worked in the jail system. I've worked in the physical health field. I worked with the elders, and I bring all of them the same secrets. It's all in the breath, but we don't know it. Who's teaching us? When you go to see your doctor, he tells you, breathe one time, miss. Okay, cough once. All right, that's enough of that. Let's now just check your blood, and we'll send you home and you're done. Well, no, there's more. In this breathing, a whole lot of emotions are triggered. And if you don't know how to bring them under cap, from sadness to anger to grief to worry to anxiety, all of these, as well as hypertension, hypotension. Hypotension is when your heart starts to develop AFib because your heart hasn't been worked enough. Hypotension, you might be eating too much salt, or you might be a high, strong woman, high, strong person, where you could get blood pressure problem because you high, strong. You worry about everything and you stressed out. We have to teach you how to cool the mind out, how to master the mind and the body, how to master the emotions. So in our classes, they are institutional to address all of these issues. Now we have with the brother that's in the he's there with Stephen. He just came. He's a psychologist. He knows the importance of emotions. He knows the importance of the community needs a lot of work. We have to set up education. And so that's where we are now. If we're not setting up classes, then our community cannot get it just going to church. They're not going to be saved. They're not going to get healthy, especially if they eat bad and have no way of controlling their emotions or controlling their physical health, improving their physical health, and understanding what the causes are.
Right. Well, let me, I want to thank you, Dr. IP, for adding all that to the conversation. I want to move on to talking a little bit about insurance. And when we're talking about insurance, it's part of our community needs also. And when I say insurance, we're talking mostly about health insurance. So at this time, I want to bring Tracy Washington, if you don't mind, and go into, educating us on what you have to offer us.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen, for inviting me to the call. How you doing, Miss Mary? I just want to say a little bit about the first off about he was talking about yoga because I take yoga every week and it is focused on your breathing. So breathing is very important because that's what they teach us while we're doing yoga, that you have to breathe in and out while you're doing the moves. So, and Dr. Happy, I would like to learn more about your program. So, I'm just a newly licensed life insurance agent. I just got licensed in the industry about a year ago, but I work with a company called PHP. It's called People Helping People. And we're not an insurance company. We market for different insurance companies like Fidelity, National Life Group, Foresters, AIG, Mutual of Omaha. And our goal is to bring life insurance back into the community for the Black and brown people. We teach the importance of investing your money, the ABCs of money. We offer term life insurance. We offer permanent life insurance. We offer annuities and living benefits because now life insurance has evolved a great deal. So it's not about death anymore. And with the living benefits, it's like our policies come with the living benefits. With the living benefits, it covers you if you're terminally ill, a chronic illness, or some type of accident. You can draw down money from your policy while you're going through that struggle. So that's and one of our carriers, he was talking about the starting the gardens. One of our carriers are offering community grants, and that's something that you can apply for the grant to start a garden. And that's
Go ahead, say it out.
I didn't hear.
I would like to get that information for you, sign off.
Okay.
Now you have a good program. That's a good program you have, because I know some people that's involved in that program. We need to get you in front of these ministers in the churches so that you could be telling it to everybody. So we need Steve and Arnold to get you in front of all these ministers. There was a minister, I was at a meeting with Arnold and Steve, and he has 30 other churches, 30 churches that he has ministers in his alliance, that you need to be getting in front of all of them and tell them to have all their parishioners show up when you come to speak. And you tell them about this, because that's the one thing that we're underserved with insurance. So when things happen, we have to pass the hat around to bury our family. We have to pass the hat around because we don't have proper insurance. So they need to know about what you're talking about.
That's starting to fall apart, Dr. Happy. That hat really falling apart now.
What happened?
I said that hat's starting to fall apart.
It has fallen apart. If you try to put something in it, it's going to fall right out because we didn't pass it around so much. That's why we need the sister to get in front of these ministers and tell them to bring their flock to church before they give the money up to the church so they can afford the insurance to put that in their budget.
Exactly.
I'm gonna share this one last thought on what the sister was saying. If she just made insurance, term life insurance, available for the children, if one of them children got killed, that would bring a lot of money into the family, because the possibility of children getting killed in our neighborhood is so high. And so it's an investment when you see it like that, because term life doesn't cost a lot, but the amount of value that you could have over a child, you could have $100,000 and the person only paying $5-10 a month, $100,000 on a child. So it becomes affordable. But the thing is, we must educate. All of what we're talking about is education. We lack the education. So, Steve, I'm looking for you to hook the sister up with the minister. Sister, I want to see you in front of these churches. Now, you tell me when Steve has hooked you up, him and Arnold, because I want to come to the first church you're going to speak at. And I want to tell everybody, I know that sister, and she's trying to be into her health, and you all need to be into your health too with the yoga, so you all can be cool, calm, and collected. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, sister. You had the floor.
Well, that was basically all I had to say. We just trying to bring the importance of life insurance back into the community.
Okay, you gonna take some questions now? Anybody have any questions? I got a question.
I got one question.
Okay, go ahead.
When we gonna set the meetings up for her to talk to the people?
Great question.
Well, I'm gonna talk to some individuals. I'll get with Steve and certainly communicate with you and see if we can get that arranged.
Well, we got a few things we need to talk about that's coming up in June. We got big bash for DeAndre on the 29th, right?
Yep.
Then we got the 25th. We're gonna have a blood drive at NAC, and then also the 25th we got a big meeting at Galewood Community on North Avenue and Oak Park with that community organization. So these are some gatherings that's coming up, big gatherings.
And the sister will be able to speak at those gatherings?
Oh, yeah.
That's the plan.
Okay, put that on your schedule, sister.
I have it. I wrote it down.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Steve. Yes, I am.
She didn't call me the other day. I fell asleep on her.
You trying to be funny. You trying to be funny, Steve. So my
I've been really in a bad way, man. I've been going through this treatment, and I've been literally in pain for 4 weeks. And I gotta call my physician. I gotta send a message to him because this ain't working out. And I ain't been
Maybe
sleeping.
you need the doctor's breathing techniques.
No, there's more. There's more that I have to work with Steve. There's more that we have to do than just the breathing with Steve. But my email address is, if you're gonna write it down to catch up with me.
Yes.
Type it in for me real quick.
Okay, let me type it in the chat.
No. Well, yeah, you put in the chat.
I mean, do you have this person? And I like it, but I bought me a juicer. I got me a CO2 machine that puts CO2 just in case I might want to pop flavored water. Is there anything? I don't water that I just. I mean, it's cheap, so I know it ain't good. But I want to know there's something on water because I prefer to go that route when it drinks.
You couldn't hear his question.
I think did he drop?
No.
I was putting some stuff in chat. Okay, I put my number in my email. I put my number in my email in chat. One of the things that you want to look at when you're talking about the effervescence, when you're talking about the fears help to pull calcium out of the body. Now, if you were dealing with something like, you're familiar with kombucha? You familiar with kombucha? Kombucha is it's a fermented. It's fermented, so it's going to help your digestive system get friendly bacteria. So what they found out was we're lacking a lot of friendly bacteria in our colon, and that's one of the reasons why we're starting to have health problems in our colon and our digestive system, because we're consuming too much acidic foods. The foods are hard to digest, and we got a lot of chemicals in our foods that's helping to create cancer in our body. So we have to start creating friendly bacteria in our digestive system, which helps our body to work better from the friendly bacteria. So, they have problems like Crohn's disease. They have problems like lower bowel disease. They have celiac disease that come from eating too much gluten.
in the food because they found out that they've put 10 times the amount of gluten in our diet with our carbs, with the breads and the flours that we eat, the pastas and the spaghettis and all of those that we're eating. We're eating so much that it binds our colon and it binds our digestive system, and it prevents us from absorbing nutrients. So look up fermented foods. Look that up. Fermented foods is the kind of foods that we need to have some of that in our diet, the fermented foods, because it will help to create more friendlier bacteria to help our digestive system work better. But there are some other things that you're going to need, Steve, to get you through the challenge. But you got my number. I just put it in the chat. So, get up with me so that we can kind of steer you through that process a lot better with a lot less of the symptoms, the symptoms that's being created.
Can
I
I
take the I got probiotics for good health.
Hey, go ahead, Mosaic got a question.
Another thing too, and I swear by this because this is what I'm doing right now. We are bipedal sentient humanoids, right? So, Steve, whatever you're going through, brother, try my diet, carnivore diet. So we are not chimps, we are not gorillas. Try a carnivore diet. Any ailment you going through will be cured. Trust me. And when you on a carnivore diet, you are less hungry because you're eating meat. Don't you cook no macaroni with that diet. Get you a nice steak. Get you some bacon with it. Now, I know you're worried about the cholesterol. But see, what you got to understand is the sugar industry lied to us. The sugar industry lied and say, hey, salt is bad. Salt, too much salt could be bad. Yes, that is true. But the sugar industry was running too much propaganda against salt. If you stick to a carnivore diet, fellas, one, your lady is going to appreciate it. That's number one. She's going to very much appreciate that carnivore diet. Two, if you know anything about human history, the doubling of the human brain started when we started to cook our food. When we were eating that raw meat, it wasn't working. But once we started to cook our food, that's when the doubling of the human brain started to happen. So I'm telling you, try a carnivore diet. Try it out for 1 month. Eat mostly. You can have your little side. Your who?
What about my heart?
Your heart?
What about my heart?
You breaking up. You breaking up.
I said, what about my heart and what about my digestion?
Oh, trust me. All of the protein and the B12 inside of the meat is going to do all the work for you. And there is not one piece of grass on this earth that's going to do better for you than meat. Trust me. 1 month.
I do have this to say on that once you finish.
Go ahead.
So, as I stated, I've worked with all kinds of people, from the elders to the youngsters. And one of the things that I do know is you have to know about what's in the food. So when you talk about meat, one of the things you have to talk about the meat is called nitrates. And nitrates is known to cause cancer. So if you're talking about eating bacon and eating these foods and it has nitrates, then you're talking about taking some nitrates into the body to help cause cancer. If you're talking about eating some meats that has fats in it, then you're talking about the fats creating cholesterol in the body. Right now, I had a patient, he just had to get a quadruple heart bypass. Another person, he was the president of the Black National Medical Association, which means he was the president of all the Black doctors in the country. And he had heart problems from eating the meat. He had to get surgery, open heart the first time, but he didn't learn from that.
So then he was still eating the same program. And then he had to go through a second open heart surgery. And then after that, he still didn't learn. And he had to go through a third, and he didn't make it. He's dead. So what I say to what you say is everything is based on activity, and everything is based on your age. When you are younger, like yourself, young brother, your body has a chance to break down meat and whatever else if you are more active. But even with that, there's a certain cutoff point with that. And if you're not familiar with the cutoff points, when you need to stop eating this and when you need to stop eating that, and more so, above all, the research. So what the research shows is that back in the 1920s, we didn't have this heavy meat diet. We didn't have this heavy carbo diet because back in the 20s, we didn't have a lot of restaurants. There was no McDonald's, and people were eating more beans and greens. Now, the question is, what do the body needs? Well, the body needs protein. Yes, meat gives protein, but so do beans. And back then, people weren't eating a lot of meat. It wasn't as affordable as it is today. And so they weren't promoting it as much as they are today. So they were eating more beans and greens. And in those beans and greens, you could be healthy and you would be slim. And you could live a long, healthier life. So my answer to your question is everything is age related. In your 30s and 40s, yeah, you can get away with eating meat somewhat, but I had a patient die at 31 years old from a heart attack. He was eating meat. He died at 31 years old from a heart attack. So the thing is that, again, the word moderation goes a long way, but also age related, what age you're at, what state is your health? Now, I am 75. I am on no medication. But when I was 20... Say what? I can't hear you.
He won't show how he looks. You know he won't show this. I said he will not show his appearance. And he's half your...
Well, I like to put it to the breath test.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, well, you don't have to show it. You don't have to show it. You don't have to show it. I like to put it to the breath test, Steve.
Well, hold on. What I could do, I can show you the line of women I've been with. You ain't got to see me. I ain't trying to look cute for you.
Well, you might be a talk Mac.
You ain't got no wins with me on that. I can show you some women that you be like, oh, you ain't never had nothing mixed.
Well, now I know you got conversation. I know you got conversation.
Hold on, wait a minute. 2, we can take our shirts off.
I'll be glad to do that with you.
No, I'm talking
I'll put it like this.
We can take our shirts off on camera. Let's do that.
I'd be willing to do that with you, but even better than that. Better than that.
Solid. I know you built solid, and I ain't got no problems with me. I'm healthy.
That's
Steve.
right.
I'm healthy as an ox. I ain't got nothing going on.
That's my diaphragm right there. You see my diaphragm? Do you see my diaphragm? That's it. That's solid as a rock.
Hey, Fox.
That's solid as a rock.
Oh yeah, you got it, brother. I see you.
Did you see it? But no, that's not good enough. I want you to go to my YouTube. Go to my YouTube. It's a 14-minute clip, just 14 minutes. Go halfway in between the clip. It's only 14 minutes. The name of the clip is Dr. Asar Happy / Egyptian Yoga. It's only 14 minutes. Go there, go to the half, and I'll show you a technique that's called Beyond the Six-Pack. Now, when you go there next week, when Steve and them have the show, I want you to come back on the show and tell me what you think, okay?
I bet.
All right, you can go there right now. I just gave you the name of the YouTube link.
Nah, I'm at work right now.
Okay, all right. So yeah, next week, go there next week and tell me what you think about where I am and where you are. Okay.
Oh yeah, we can have
Just
us a
go
little muscle
there,
competition.
spend a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
just spend a couple of minutes looking at it and tell me, do you think you need to get with me or do you think I need to get with you? So I'm
Y'all
gonna leave
still
it
up?
that I'm gonna leave it right there because I'm waiting on next week. I'm gonna be on this show next week when you come on because I want to hear your rap.
Oh man, listen. Hey, you know what? Well, how about this? How about me and you go for a run?
No, I
Let's see
don't
how many
run.
miles you could.
I don't
Oh,
run. I don't run at all. You know
I
what I
figured you
do?
didn't. I
You
figured
know
you
what I
didn't
do? I
run.
do Tai Chi and I do yoga. I do Tai Chi and yoga. I don't have to run.
Oh,
I
that's
do
cool. But
Tai
if
Chi
you
and yoga.
but if you can't run, you ain't mobile, brother.
Brother,
What's
I
the
move
point?
all
What's the
over the
point of
place.
breathing? But what's the point of breathing and you can't run them? You can't run a mile. I could run. I could run 10 miles right now.
Well, again, we're gonna get on the we're gonna show what you can do on the table with the breathing. If you think your breathing is good, because I'm bringing it all back to the breathing. If breathing is the life force, and breathing is what you need to be alive. You could run 100 miles, but if your breathing stops, you could be the strongest man in the world, the fastest man, and can run the longest. But if your breathing stops, none of that counts.
You know,
So
my
my
brother
whole thing
always
is,
said black people want to do everything but the work.
I'll put it like this. Look at the
Everything but the
video,
work.
look at the video, and then tell me when we're gonna get together to put you on the table to show you where you really at.
I want to run with you. Let's
No,
run.
I'm clinically. I'm a clinician. I'm gonna show you where you really at.
Yeah, but let's run though.
I don't need to run because again, I run
I
the
know
breath.
you don't.
Like this. So we need to look at the diet more because again, the whole thing is the body slim and healthy? Is the body strong? Is the body vital? Do the limbs work? And do the person have endurance and stamina? Endurance and stamina to keep the heart working well. So I'm done. Go ahead. Go ahead, Steve.
Can I
Yeah, I
say
don't hear
something while we
nobody.
wait?
No, I was done. I was done talking.
Arnold, are you still there? I think something happened with you.
I think something happened with a.
All right, we're back. We're back.
Yeah.
From conversation concerning the brain. The brain is
Okay.
made up of cholesterol. But more importantly, it takes two minerals to keep that brain functioning. That's carbon and copper. And you get that from the food that we eat.
Can't hear him now.
Nah, you watching the video. You gotta,
I think I'm watching this video.
yeah, because I just said all that.
All right, I'm in this. In this meeting. Nope, not for all.
Then is this connected?
Yes.
Yo, you watching the video.
Yeah, where's the guy from? Yo, go ahead. Can you talk, DeAndre?
You.
Doctor, what did you say the name of the video was?
Dr. Asar, A-S-A-R. Last
Okay.
name Hapi, H-A-P-I.
Mhm.
/ put Egyptian yoga, E-G-Y,
Okay.
P-T-I-A-N, Egyptian yoga. Dr. Asar Hapi / Egyptian yoga.
Okay, thank you.
It's a 14-minute clip. Now, what you see on there will be very advanced. So the students that I've taught that to in the different schools that we have throughout the community now, the West Side, South Side, that you would not be learning that advanced stuff. You'll be learning the easy, more basic exercises, but the breathing is encouraged to learn the different aspects of the breathing to deal with your mental health and your physical health that you get when you go into the classes, when you go to the classes.
Can y'all hear us? Yo. Can y'all hear us?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we ain't using this little echo, but yeah, we hear you.
Yo. Man.
Yeah, we about to close out, y'all. I'm just gonna say, it's been a good show. We appreciate everybody coming and definitely their concerns. But go ahead, Arnold and DeAndre, y'all talk. I'm gonna turn mine down.
I'll go around the room.
Yeah, go around.
You got anything in conclusion, Dr. Hapi?
Other than one must learn their body, one must really learn about nutrition from a chemical perspective on how the body stays well and how the body gets sick. And as I stated, when I was 20, I was very sick. I had an incurable disease. I was supposed to die like Bernie Mac. But because I didn't follow what Bernie Mac was following and I got a plant-based diet, I learned about nutrition and chemistry. I'll be 75 and my health is in excellent state because of the changes that I made and what I learned and what we now need to teach the community.
Excellent. How about you, Tracy? Anything in conclusion?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the call talking about the health and everything. And
And I put it in the chat. I put that clip on YouTube. I put that in the chat, my name and where they go on YouTube and see the clip of where I am with my health.
Okay.
yeah, I just put yeah. So yeah, I thank you, Steve, for inviting me to the call, and I look forward to working with everybody and getting out into the community to educate our people on health and life insurance and nutrition and everything. So thank y'all. Thank you for having me on the call.
Okay, sounds like a plan. How about
Thank you all. Thank you all for having me on the call also.
Yeah, Crystal, you on? Because I know you had some stuff you put in the chat. You want to go ahead and expound on a little bit of it? Okay, I guess not.
Okay, here I am.
Okay,
Starting on, I have a community, Austin Community Project on healthy living, and starting June 6th, in partnership with a lot of the community gardens. I'll be doing trolley tours, going to the different gardens in Austin. Like I said, it's an Austin project, and then so I put a flyer in the chat. On Thursdays, one Thursday a month, there will be the trolley tour be departing from the farmers market, at Austin Town Hall Park. And then every other Saturday during the summer, starting in June, it'll depart, the trolley will depart from my office at 4952 West Chicago Avenue. And so at each of those trolley tours, there's going to be a stop at a garden where they'll be preparing a healthy meal with the chef. And so just listening to this conversation, actually, I just got back in from Phoenix, okay, like 30 minutes ago. And so I jumped on the call. But so, yeah, this was a good conversation about health. And so this project, I also did a community mapping with DePaul University Stang Center, where for health disparities in Austin, for heart disease, kidney disease, and diabetes. And so, you know, I'll be sharing that with the participants on these trolley tours. And the chefs will basically be creating meals that are, you know, healthy additions to your diet. So we all can, you know, pick healthier choices, you know, because, of course, we know the biggest thing in our population is we don't want to give up something. And so this is project is basically helping us all to understand, well, guess what? We can add something that will help us overall, you know, improve our health. Because the more healthy stuff we eat, you know, it's gonna negate or minus the unhealthy things. So and then I'm listening to the doctor. I mean, that's great information. I'd like to talk to you also, because what you do and could be a great addition to this whole project for the community.
So my information is in the chat.
Yeah, I pulled it up already, so I'll contact you.
Okay, then. How about you, Tiny? You got anything?
I was just gonna say, Crystal, I give you.
Yeah, I want to say two things. One, it's always good to be around like-minded people. And two, before we went on air, I was telling Stephen, you and Arnold, about my cousin who has cancer all over his, talking about a documentary. And Arnold, I think other people would like to hear what you told me about that.
Okay, Aaron.
Could you talk about that, Conquering Cancer?
Yes, this is a docu-series, and right now, yeah, right, called The Missing Link on Conquering Cancer by Nathan Frame. It's 9 episodes, and right now for the next 24 hours, I mean, they have a wealth of information on therapy, nutrition, some of the information we're sharing today, but these are world-renowned scientists and academia in their field dealing with nothing but cancer and sickness. So it's airing for the next 24 hours, 9 episodes. I've been reading it like the Bible. So, I mean, following it like the Bible, and it's just good information.
Did you put in the chat?
Yeah, they're going to put it in now. Called The Missing Link, episode 1 through 9. Each episode is 1 hour.
That's it. But Denise, you got anything in conclusion? We out. Anybody else?
No, I don't have anything to add other than just remaining in gratitude, you know, being able to be a part of the conversation again, listening to everyone's ideals and platforms, as well as their outlooks, and how they remain focused and keeping that passion burning so high as it does with Brother Hapi and Mosaic. It was definitely, I would say, holistically entertaining. I'll put it that way, but well needed. And it's always great to be able to hear our brothers, you know, speak with such passion, and everyone is smiling. Everyone is still remaining respectful, and everyone is still continuing, you know, with nothing but love in their heart. And even in the challenges, you know, it's done with the utmost respect for the other person, however that's going to become. But at the same time, it didn't end in trauma. And that's what makes it so beautiful.
Yes, ended in love, sister, ended in love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that. But outside of that, I'm just looking forward to coming back and becoming a regular fixture, you know, here, listening in and being able to engage, become involved, however it is that I'm able to do so when that time permits.
Okay, we appreciate that. Reach one and bring one.
Absolutely.
I want to say thank you to everybody that was on today. Mary, Dr. Hapi, Mosaic, everybody else that chimed in. And DeAndre, you want to close us out?
Yeah, nothing to say, Arnold?
Well, I'm making a major announcement today due to the concern of wellness. I am going to be the first recruit for Austin Health Men's Health Club, and I ask other brothers to join in with me. Just, you know, I'll send you my email or phone number, and we'll start the Austin Men's Health Club. And who knows where, like I say, the sky's the limit. So I'm recruiting myself. I'm asking other individual men to join in with me, young, old, every way. And so let's do this, and we'll get a whole wealth of information we can bring back and communicate on podcasts like this.
Sounds like a plan. Take a stand.
All right. Yeah, last thing I just want to say, like Steve mentioned, June 29th, we're doing the celebration. Officially walk across that stage June 28th, so looking forward to that. It's a community, family, and friends event. So by all means, come on out. Just enjoy yourself. We're doing it here from 6 to 10. And yeah, that last hour we gonna clean up, man. Everybody gonna be leaving anyway.
5730 West Division.
Yeah, so come on now, man. Open to everybody. That being stated, you know, we do this thing every Sunday.
29th?
I'm sorry. Oh, so we do this thing every Sunday.
That's on the 29th?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna send the flyer out. We'll send it out again. Go ahead, D.
Yeah, so we do every Sunday between the hours of 6 and 8. We bring you Northwest Austin Council. We have various ways you can interact with the show: the Facebook, YouTube, or the Zoom. If you are on the Zoom, you're writing the show, you can just come off mute and speak your speech. You know, just keep it respectful so that we can have a good dialogue going back and forth. If you're on the Facebook or the YouTube, if you type a comment in, we can see it. We bring you in the show that way. Otherwise, all we ask is Steve asks us to continue to bring people. You know, we're going on 3 years now. It'd be 4 in September, actually. August, yeah, late August, September. So longest running podcast in the community that really catered towards the community and getting information out. So keep sharing it, keep pushing it far and wide.
Westside Thieves, talking about Westside Thieves, right here on the West Side.
Most definitely. And then, you know, we go citywide from time to time too.
Yeah.
But that being stated, you know, I always like to say in closing, we got open seats at the table. We just trying to welcome y'all along home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council.
Good night, y'all.
Thank you all.